And our next session is going to be on AI, as we just discussed, because as it is reshaping the classrooms and careers alike, let's hear from our experts on how education can prepare the learners for tomorrow. So please join me in welcoming our eminent panelist on the stage, Ms. Poonam Kumar Mehendirata, Principal of the Manthan School, Greater Noida West; Ms. Deepika Sharma, Principal, Maxford School; and Mr. Rajesh Bhatia, Treehouse Group, Mumbai. I would also like to invite our moderator on the stage, Ms. Neena Kaul, Director and Principal, Gyanshri School. Welcome to all of you.
Yeah, good afternoon. I take this privilege to welcome you on the stage, on the panel discussion, on a much deliberated topic of today, learning today, teaching today for an AI-powered tomorrow. I've been told that we have to keep it short and crisp for 25 minutes, so I'm going to go just back to the point. A few years ago, many of us were asking whether AI is going to change education. I think today it is not about if, it is about how, right? AI has already gone into everything. It has influenced the way we learn, the way we teach, the way we gather information, the way we process things, the way we construct knowledge, right? However, what has remained unchanged, I believe, for the purpose of education is to create children who are capable learners, who are authentic, who are compassionate, who are humane, are responsible. So as educators, therefore, we face a huge challenge that while we embrace AI with all its possibilities, how do we preserve and strengthen the fundamental human values in our children about curiosity, creativity, critical thinking, compassion, judgment, using their collaborative skills? So how do we ensure and strengthen that? I think today's session is about exploring that, and I hope the audience is going to go back with some good insights after the session today. So my first question, I would begin asking that from you, sir, should the AI be used directly as a curriculum for children to learn directly as a subject, or should it get integrated with the content?
So AI is something where I would say that in classrooms we need both. We need AI to be integrated in the curriculum as well as try to explain children what real intelligence is also all about. We're talking of artificial intelligence. But what is the meaning of real intelligence? Mm-hmm. And that, if is able to be done with telling them in classrooms, yes, they will learn across primary, middle school, secondary school, the curriculum content, rightly so, for the future. The real intent is also to bring them in front of a whole new world that is going to come in the near future, for which they have to be completely prepared. And we need both of them.
Okay. So Dr. Poonam?
Yeah, so I will simply say, it has to be blended. It has to be the part of the curriculum. And when we say the preparatory stage, from there, the introduction of AI should be given, where they are understanding what AI is and how it has to be used in daily life, but just an introduction part of it. But as they are, growing and they are moving to the middle stage, there we always emphasize on experiential learning. It is the time when they have to explore it further. But keeping in mind that academic integrity is, nurtured amongst the children, where they are open to accept that what kind of help exactly they have taken, they are giving due credit to the work or to the research which they have carried out through it. And when they are moving to the secondary stage, it is the time of application, where they can use it to explore their career, to explore it further, to research, to identify various arenas where it can contribute. So it should be from introduction to application, the way we say that in Bloom's taxonomy, we start from knowledge and we take children to the creative level. So similar thing can be used if we just weave it with all the subject, but ensuring that academic integrity is ensured amongst our children.
All right. Okay. How about you?
I have the same stance that it has to be taught in a standalone manner, as well as it has to be intertwined with all the academic subjects. Somehow when we say that AI has to be learned in a standalone manner, the problem solving skills, the ethics of using AI, and also somehow understanding the logic behind that problem solving is understood when AI is learned in a standalone manner. However, when it is intertwined with subjects, the interdisciplinary learning of the subjects, which is the real life applications of each subject, it comes out beautifully. So it has to be a blended mode.
So if I may say, what you're suggesting is that in the initial years, it can be used as a tool.
From my side, it's not in the graded manner across years. In each year while we are learning, it can be a standalone as well as intertwined with subjects. So interdisciplinary. When we start learning AI, we do not even realize that it is AI. So it's like learning of language before grammar. So we are already using AI, even a small child. While if you ask any child, have you used a Siri or a Google Assistant or Alexa, they're already using it. So the AI is already in use, like language is. But what exactly AI is understood while we teach them, while we make them understand what is artificial intelligence. So that misconception has to be removed, and the practicality of it has to be implemented more seamlessly.
So it will not be wrong to say that they can be little playful with AI in the initial years and use it as a tool, and over years get into specialization?
It is. It is always easy to learn it while being playful. Playful in the sense, we understand the usage of AI only by learning through it, but how it is getting implemented without even knowing is more important. With young minds, they are very inquisitive, they're very creative, they want to ask so many questions. So that should always be allowed. For example, if a child is watching a cartoon, the moment that cartoon is about to get over, the next one pops up, and that is of the child's interest. Now a child asks the parent, suppose, why is it that my liked or my most favorite cartoon is popping up next? The child doesn't know, but the question is right, it is through AI. So all those simple experiences that the children undergo right from the early ages, the preparatory years, I must say, so that involves AI. So going very naturally about it is the best way.
I'll just add to that. You know, I had experienced, when you said playful and playway method, I experienced going to Stanford in the classrooms about 15 years back, and I went there for a couple of years. The bigger question is that what in education do the Americans do that they get AI in the world, and what in education do we as Indians do that we can't get it into the classrooms, or we can't build the Claude system, or we can't build the Anthropics of the world. The point is that when I went and did my R&D and played with children in the Bing Institute at Stanford, rather than just teaching them how to write straight lines, slanting lines, and to make them understand how to write A, B, C, D, practical examples like what we are now teaching in our classrooms in grade 1, 2, 3, you see these robotic Lego sets and all of that coming to India. You find them doing concepts on force, on balloon experiments, teaching raw physics to a 4-year, 5-year-old. And that's exactly why you create the Elon Musk of the world, which is what we don't do over here. The whole narrative, like some gentleman said over here, and Yash, my good friend who invited me, thank you, said, the policy changed only in 2020. We were doing just the same old things for so many years, And then to expect that we will produce the best explorers or the best engineers who would give us the Anthropic of the world would not happen. The education system, when ingrained in a young child's mind from age 3, 4, 5, and going beyond, that critical thinking, that very thought process starts from 0 to 8. And that's the age where they catch them so young. And that's where they really take them forward. And that's where neural networks or AI is built. The whole thing comes from there.
So the idea is that AI should be able to accelerate critical thinking, curiosity, creativity in children.
I'm not saying it will accelerate critical thinking. Right now, the first thing that we are doing in 2026 is to actually make them use it as a tool, because we have really gone behind. Let's face it, we've gone behind. So we have to really bring our education system at a much faster pace to the near term, and then take it forward from there. You see, so first the technology tools that are there are being used to just bring our children right there in the classrooms to what has already been done, and the world is moving at a pace which is so quick that if we don't do it rapidly in the next 2 to 3 years, we will really be left behind. Let's face it.
Sure. Coming to the next question. This is for you. How can teachers effectively use AI in the classroom to enhance teaching learning process, to deepen the engagement of student learning in the classroom?
See, first of all, a teacher herself or himself has to be the master of AI. AI is still a tool, assistant to the instructor. So if it is an assistant, it will remain assistant, and it should remain assistant. But at the same time, it can reduce burden for the teachers as well. All the mundane work, repeated work, which teachers generally do, they can save time by using it. At the same time, when we say this, differentiated learning becomes very easy if teachers are well equipped and empowered to do the same. For example, that if the teachers are using DFID AI, it helps them to create, personalize, as per the learning level of the child, the passage, the comprehension, the poem. So the teacher will not only be able to cater to a weak learner, but also the one who is really an advanced learner in the classroom, which was very difficult earlier for the teacher in a class of 40 students. At the same time, when we are saying this, it becomes easy for the teacher to ensure personalized learning for every child who is there in the class. So no child left behind, if we say, it is easy to ensure. Making of lesson plan, assessment worksheet, test papers, if teachers are empowered well and they know how to interact with technology in a better way, I believe that creativity can go to the next level if teachers are using it well.
So teachers can create a lot of differentiated instructions, a lot of content which is based on the context of what they are teaching.
Yes.
A lot of assessment tools can be created for
Absolutely.
the children.
And assessment becomes very easy. For making a paper as per the Bloom's taxonomy, same content, the question can be framed for the application-based question, and at the same time, analysis question can be made differently in no time. But it is important that teachers must ensure that their intervention is there. They are cross-checking what exactly they have demanded and what exactly has come out from the AI tool. So their intervention is very, very
Exercise
important.
their wisdom and their control over AI.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, thank you so much. Next question. What role can AI play in personalizing learning for students in the classroom, especially students with different abilities?
I think one of the biggest trends that AI has is personalized intervention. So the personalized intervention, like ma'am mentioned, personalized learning, I believe personalized feedback also plays a very, very important role. Especially when we are talking about differentiated instruction, and also with students with special needs. There are lot many tools which can enhance and bring those children at an equitable level. For example, as simple as I think speech to text, text to speech, voice recognition, adaptive learning technology. There are so many different tools promoted with AI which can help those children identify their strengths as well as their challenges, which can be worked upon. It needs a lot of wisdom from teachers. However, patience is another very important factor which will play a very important role in taking care of children to bring in inclusive education at an equitable level. AI has lot many tools available and it has to be used wisely as per our requirement. It can beautifully help in inclusive education because that personalized learning can help these children come at par.
In a way, it balances out
It
everybody in
does.
the classroom. It provides equitable opportunity of learning to all the children by making use of these tools.
Yes.
So life is easier both for the teachers, it's easier for our children who may be left behind because we as educators are not able to reach out to each and every child in the classroom.
I just remember even in CBSE for the board examinations, a recent new addition has come as a prompter. We used to have a scribe, we used to have a reader along, but a prompter, somebody who's invigilating can also prompt a question. Because these children just need a spark at the time, especially when they require. So, I mean, as simple as a prompting to an AI and they get a response, you also get encouragement to move to the next level. So you're not getting withdrawn within a class, you are being included. So that helps tremendously. I mean, there are so many factors which can come into play where collaboration can happen, where the children are learning and their sense of belongingness to the class improves. So that is how we fulfill inclusive education, not just in words, but in action in a class.
So one of the challenges that we often face as educators is when you have to look for a lot of children who have to support using, as readers and prompters, right, for children with special needs. Probably by using AI, I think that life gets very easy. You have the tools.
Our children are already working on a project on the same,
Yes.
so I'm very excited about it because proposing a prompter through AI and we are putting up that as a prototype recently. We are working on it.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that. I think it's very inspiring when educators come together and have such inspiring ideas. It acts as a great inspiration for everybody. To you, sir. How can the schools and teachers balance the use of AI in developing collaborative, critical thinking skills amongst children?
So first and foremost is the system has to change. The teachers itself, when they do a B.Ed program, I believe maybe a 6-month program in AI is very much a need of the hour. In many countries, like in China, for example, all teachers from grade 1 now have to be AI qualified to be a teacher. They passed it in their parliament. It was very tough for the education minister to do it, but he went all out and did it. So that is very important because we need teachers in every village, and this is going to spread so fast as far as AI is concerned that unless teachers are not trained, it will not spread to the next level. So the basic point is first the teacher training, then bring this into the system, and when you use it in the classroom with these AI tools, they can help both the teacher and the child to better understand the subjects that they are going through. The next level of education is not instruction, it is mentoring, like someone said. So you don't need a teacher in front of the children. You need teacher at the back of the classroom, helping them to understand the newer tools that are going to be visible to them practically, I'll say, in the next 36 months in the world. It's moving that fast. And that is where training, compliance, teaching quality, teaching methodology, and the entire school education system has to go through a kind of a change which is going to make lives simpler, easier, better, happier for these young children.
I just want to specifically target the fact that AI is there and we use it. I'm coming back to the same question. That how do you balance it out? Because it's very easy to just theoretically talk about it. But how do you really balance out the use of AI, ensuring that we are not compromising with the curiosity, critical development, creativity of the children? How can that happen inside the classroom?
See, clear guidelines are very important. AI literacy framework also need to be made up so that the children learn how to use it ethically, responsibly, and effectively. So that clear guidelines, I believe, that is going to help in the in the classroom in every period. For example, when I visited to school in Dubai, it was like 10 minutes technology integration has to be there in the classroom, not beyond that. So teacher used to work in such a way so that she is giving sufficient time for teaching, for interacting, for collaborative learning, but at the same time, children are not away from technology. So if I believe that if clear guidelines are there and if we make a proper AI literacy framework, it's going to help.
I'm just looking at the clock there, which shows time is up, but still I'll throw the last question with the permission of the organizers. With AI integrated content learning, right, which is very common, how can schools promote academic integrity and authenticity and ensure responsible use of technology? I'm picking up from just where you left, that how do we ensure responsible use of technology in our, to our children?
It comes with the culture in the school that is created. Even if AI wasn't there or is not there, whatever, the integrity is very important. Ethics are very important. AI is an additional tool in which, like we had computers at one time, internet at one point of time, we were talking about etiquettes. Those came out to be netiquettes, which is how do we behave on internet. Similarly, while we are using AI, ethics still has to be followed. So it comes through the culture. It comes through the vision that we have to share. And AI is just a tool. I mean, I don't think we should fear from AI. And also, like I was mentioning, once computers were a fear, whether do we survive computers or not, everyone has one. So AI is also going to be adapted. We will be seamless in that, and we will evolve beautifully by using AI. And just understanding that one thing, that irrespective of anything, that human touch is the most important and will always lead. I'm just remembering another phrase, I'll close with that while you're saying so, कि वो कहाँ से सीख लेंगे ये चीज़ें उस्तादों से जो हमने सीखा है हालातों से. So something that we have learned through a situation cannot be just learned through what is taught through AI, what we see on YouTube. We were talking about a lot of coaching classes for 3 hours and so and so. But a situation in which we are present, like right now we have butterflies in our stomach when we are facing the crowd, it will always remain. So that strength, that resilience always comes through societal impact. The presence is very, very important. So human touch cannot fail through anything that comes up.
I would like to add, मंजिल कहाँ खूबसूरत होती है, खूबसूरत तो सफ़र होता है. It is not the process, it's not the product, it is the process which is more important. And teacher has to be smarter. So the moment teacher will change the assessment tools, rather than evaluating the final product, if the teacher will see the reflection sheet, the journey through which the child has submitted the product, I believe it will become easy.
Very, very well said, that it is the process and not the product. And as a part of process, if we engage in our teaching learning process in a manner that we are always able to keep children as at the top priority, where machines we are not competing them. We're not competing between students or human beings and machines, but we are working around the machines, we are working with them, we are questioning them, and we are also rising above them. I think that makes a huge difference. I think that's where the purpose of education still remains. One quick, that should be a rapid fire message that we would give back to the audience today. One-liner from each one of you.
Technology in the hands of great teacher will be transformational, and we are ready for this transformation.
Great.
AI should be the core competency which has to be learned by everybody.
We can never miss the teacher in the classroom. AI or no AI, we need the teacher in the classroom.
Teacher cannot be replaced.
Cannot be replaced.
Our judgment cannot be replaced. AI is here, but our role as educators to keep promoting the development of the children, which still continues to be physical, social, emotional, cognitive, still continues to be there. And the skills like creativity, curiosity, collaborative work, thinking, critical thinking, remain extremely essential for times to come, because honestly, we do not know as educators what are we preparing our children for. The world is going to be very, very different and difficult also in many ways. But how do we gear up ourselves, and how do we manage as educators, as leaders who believe in forward-looking times, who believe that our children are the best learners and the most intelligent, much intelligent than our generation, that trust and faith both in our children as well as in artificial intelligence and the other technology which is going to come in along with it in many other ways. I think that remains prominent and core to education. With this, I would like to thank all the panelists here, and I would also like to thank the audience. I hope you're going back with something valuable. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that great, very comprehensive discussion. And Ms. Neena, you said very rightly earlier that it is indeed very inspiring when all the educators come together and they share their wonderful insights with us. Thank you so much again. I would like to request Mr. Yash Mehta, CEO ABP Education, to please join us here on the stage and kindly do the honors of felicitating our esteemed panelists. And ladies and gentlemen, for that very enriching, very insightful discussion, I believe we can still put our hands together one more time, louder. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all of you once again. And thank you, Ms. Neena, for wonderfully moderating this session. Very, very engaging, very relevant questions. So we are going to begin with our wonderful moderator here. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Ms. Neena Kaul. And our panelist, Ms. Poonam Kumar Mendirata, Ms. Deepika Sharma, and Mr. Rajesh Bhatia. I think we can still hear some more applauses, everyone. A lot of knowledge, lot of wisdom have flown from this side of the stage to you. So, absolute great session. Thank you. Thank you so much. It was indeed our pleasure to have you here.